All right, Shalom. I just wanted to speak about a couple of subjects here, because, truth is something weird's really going on, man, where we're talking about, this whole, YouTube and Google and, just the situation happening in the world, man. Hey, as the scriptures speak about, man, blessed are those with eyes to see and ears to hear, because a lot of people out here, man, they turn a blind eye to all these things that's been going on, hell, over the past, well, really 10 years, but even if we're just talking about since 2020, the obvious events that happened since then, even a lot of people out here still turn a blind eye, and will criticize people that question authority. Again, it's really just strange to me. It's really just strange if you think about it. But let's first start off with the YouTube censorship, right? Um, you know what I find funny is, this guy over there, Praise I Am, he'll be like, well, guys like ETT or these Hebrew Israelites, if they were teaching the truth, they would have more fruit, they would have more followers and all that. It's like, well, dummy, you do know that our YouTube is censoring our content, right? Like, say, for instance, I remember back in 2021, I could put up a video and I might get like 300 views on it. But yeah, here it is, I put up a video now, be lucky to get 100 views on it, 120 views tops, right? I used to do live streams back then. You get like 300 damn views on live stream, but here it is now. Be lucky to get 200 views, right? Let alone 150. You know, so again, clearly there's censorship happening, right? There's shadow banning channels that they don't like. And I remember years ago, the brothers in Great Millstone, what was happening with them is they would put up a video, and how you can like put up a customizable thumbnail for your video. You can take a picture and customize it like to catch people's eyes as they go past the video. So what YouTube was doing to some of the GMS videos is they were like uploading like a picture of like Mickey Mouse or the barnyard, or like Nickelodeon shows or Disney Channel shows as like the thumbnail of the video to make it look stupid, right? It's like, well, wait, why the hell are they doing that? It's like they're not doing it to really anything else on YouTube besides truth related videos. It's like, come on, clearly they're doing it on purpose, right? Clearly, for one, they're censoring the content by shadow banning it, and then are also banning our content if we mention like certain strike words, right? There's certain words that you can't mention on YouTube. But you know what I find funny though? Is time to time I'll watch like a big video that has hundreds of thousands of views or 100,000 views, 50,000 views from a popular channel, and they'll mention like all these restricted words that we're not allowed to mention, but yet they'll get off scot free without any type of problem happening, right? Like YouTube won't censor anything they're saying. But yeah, here it is. If I use just two of those censor words, I'll get the whole video taken down. I mean, that's hypocrisy right there. But why are they doing that? Because they're trying to hide what we're saying, right? They're trying to censor the truth. So, hey, the fact is, man, that you got to take advantage of the time we got right now, to get this knowledge and this understanding that is available, on the YouTube, right? Because it's going to come a time where you're not going to be able to turn YouTube on and, watch a GMS video, watch a ETT video, watch, a full spectrum survival video, inside joke, or watch any, news source. You're not going to be able to easily find this stuff on YouTube, man. Once they totally crack down on, your freedom of, research that you can do on the internet. And really, they've already cracked down on it. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Like, I remember back in like 2016, 2017, you could look up the term flat earth and you'll get a fair result back of like people trying to prove the idea, people trying to debunk the idea. But here it is now, the first like 500 pages are just videos trying to debunk the idea. Like, they totally took the flat earth proof videos completely out of the results that you get if you look up flat earth. So that's a topic that they totally censored and changed. Whereas years ago, you used to be able to find reasonable evidence and information on the topic. But now, you're not allowed to do it. Right now, you're not allowed to find that information. Like literally, the only way that you can find content like that is if you know the channel's name and you got to type it completely right. If even if you get like one word or one letter wrong or miss one letter, then it won't even come up. You got to spell it exactly right. You have to know the exact channel to find the videos that you want to find. It shouldn't be that difficult, but again, that's the censorship that's going on. They're trying to hide this truth, right? They're trying to hide videos that criticize the mainstream narrative, right? They're trying to censor what we're saying. And that's just the truth at the end of the day. That's really what's going on. A whole another thing to go over, right? Just like how the world governments are, trying to pull the wool over the people's eyes about like the whole upcoming World War III, right? Which, we're in the beginning stages. Excuse the background noise. We're in the beginning stages of this happening, with Russia's invasion of Ukraine that's been going on for the last 2 years. And of course, China, very soon they're going to move over on Taiwan, right? They're just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. So again, we're already in World War III. Oh, and we can't forget about the whole Israel and Hamas situation that's been going on for 7 months now. That war is not ending anytime soon. It's still going to continue to grind on. So again, there's conflicts going on all over the world. Then you have Iran and Israel they're trading strikes back on each other right now. You got the Houthi rebels hitting container ships that are, trying to cross the what is it? What's that gap called over there? Will come back to me. Shit, it'll come back to me in a second. But the shipment lanes they have, around the world to trade, right? Some of these, what's it called, the Panama Canal or something like that. You might know what I'm referring to. Can't say the name off the top of the head. But over there, right, they're trying to hit like ships that are going through these certain choke points. From everything that's going on right now, you know what I'm saying? So clearly the governments around the world are lying to the people to try to not get people to panic right now. Like, I'll give you an example. The US government, they're lying completely to their population, whereas the Chinese government, they'll tell their population, and they've been telling them for the last couple of years, as far as I'm concerned, they've been telling them to get, like 2 years or, at least 6 months worth of food in your house, right? At all times have that amount of food in your house, at least 6 months, hopefully a year if you can. That's what they're telling the people. Whereas over here, the US government is telling their people not to panic, right? You don't have to, be a fear mongerer and, have 2 or 3 months worth of food in your house. The people over here, they're used to living that luxury lifestyle where you're allowed to go out every couple of days and just grab the food, for that day or, for the next couple of days. You're allowed to do that over here. Like, there's no urgency, right? The people in authority over here, they're not telling the people that they need to get ready. They're not telling the people the truth. They're not telling them what's actually happening in the world. And the sad fact is, a lot of people are going to get called off guard. A lot of people on that day, right, when, all hell breaks loose, as people call it, SHTF, right, shit hits the fan, or martial law, right, Jacob's trouble, as the Bible calls it in Daniel 12th chapter, right, a time where people out here are going to lose their minds. I mean, shit, we already saw a glimpse of that in 2020. You literally have people out there getting into fist fights over, tampons and damn, toilet paper. The last box on the shelf, right, the last pack on the shelf. Getting into a damn fist fight, giving somebody a bloody nose over that. So shit, if they're really ready to fight somebody over a pack of toilet paper, and what the hell do you think they're going to do when it's actually over a pack of chips? The last bag of barbecue chips. Like, seriously, these people are going to act like animals out here. And they show you in some of these, like, Hollywood movies, like these disaster end of the world movies. They show you, like these fights happening in, in these stores, right? Like, I believe one example is if you ever saw the movie, what is that movie called? World War Z, right? World War Z, which that was a zombie movie, but still they showed you the chaos that unfolded once a attack unfolded in society, right? When people were unaware what was going on, right? You had people robbing the stores for everything that was left. I believe they show you that in 2012 as well. But again, a lot of these Hollywood movies they put out there, it's really predictive programming, right? They're actually showing people what's going to happen in the world before it actually happens. It's not always the case, but in a lot of instances that actually happens, right? A lot of instances, some movies show certain things that could happen in the near future or sometimes far out future. But that's a whole nother video topic there, so we won't even get into that. But the moral of the story, man, is something strange is happening in the world, right? And it's clear. It's clear to see that the world is not normal. Like, say, for instance, man, you know, the world right now in 2024, it's completely different than how it was 10 years ago in 2014, right? Like, there's no comparison. You can't compare the world now compared to how it was 10 years ago. I mean, shit, we already went through a worldwide epidemic. I got to use code language. You know what I'm talking about. We're going through a financial disaster, right? Basically, a new Great Depression for the people. We're going through a homelessness crisis. We're going through one of the biggest events, which is the greatest war that's happened in Europe since World War II. What is that, like 75 years ago, give or take a few? That's the biggest war that's happened in literally decades, right? It's actually happening over in Europe right now, right? And clearly the threat of using nuclear weapons is on the table, right? So again, right now, the world is at the biggest threat it's ever experienced before from nuclear weapons being shot off. Like, literally at no other point in history has the world been more in fear about these weapons being used. And someone might say, oh, well, the Cold War or, any of that. Shit, back then it was scary for people. But back then they didn't have the social media sites like how we got right now. You can get literally instant communication, right? Instant communication. Like, you can instantly find out what's happening across the world. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Earlier today I was watching the what was it, May 9th. Russia holds their victory day, they call it, right? With a victory day when they beat the Germans in World War II. Every May 9th they do the victory day, and I can watch it live from Florida, where they're having that, in Moscow. You know what I'm saying? Outside the Kremlin, right? So I can watch that unfold across the world. Or another one, the brother Luke over in Australia, shout out to him. The other day he was doing a live stream at like a rally that was taking place over in Australia. I said, hell, I could sit here in the United States and watch a whole rally that's taking place over in Australia. You couldn't do that in the 60s. You couldn't do that in the 50s. But that's something we can do now, because now the technology is to the level where you're able to get that instant communication, right? You can find out instantly what's happening across the world by way of this social media. And that's why they're trying to censor it. They're trying to, put restrictions on it. Like, we see what's happening right now with that whole TikTok ban, right? A whole controversy with the TikTok ban. We see what's going on with that, which that's a whole other different topic, in and of itself right there. But they're just putting that dominance over the people. They want to control what the average person is doing. They want you as a worthless eater, right? They want you to work that 9 to 5, 7 days a week, 6 days a week if you're lucky. And that's it. They want you to be a good, humble slave to their system and, not get out of line. But you know what? We're tired of that. You know what? And me speaking for myself, right, as part of Generation Z, right? We're pissed off, right? People of my generation, we're pissed off, right? Because we see that we have no future. We're pissed off about the hand that we've been dealt, so to speak, right? the cards that we've been dealt, we see that we got effed over, and now we're pissed off. Because remember, we're the ones that your whole country is built off of at this point. It's our backs that y'all are getting your SSI checks on, right? So what happens when I'm not willing to go work at Burger King for $9 an hour? What happens when I get pissed off and I don't want to be paying tax to you anymore? What happens when people of my generation say F you straight to your face and revolt against the government? What happens then? Because it's coming. Oh boy, it is coming, right? The wave is coming. And we're warning you, man, that all hell is about to break loose in this country, especially since we're in a election year right now. What is it, November? Right, it's coming up soon. There's a whole election coming. And you see how these people are divided, right? Trump on one hand, Biden on the other hand. Man, half the country's going to lose their mind if Biden stays in office. But then on the flip side, half the country's going to lose their mind if Trump gets into office. Again, each side, they're not going to accept the victory of the opposite party, right? So there's going to be, man, it's not scary to think about what's in the near coming months, man. It's scary to think about that, about the dark days that are ahead, because it's coming. It is truly coming, man. There are dark days on the horizon. And anybody that can't see that, they're just delusional and just don't know what the hell's going on. Again, if you can't see what's going on, then, you're just lost. There's a saying that goes, you got to wake up and smell the coffee, right? And that's what we're telling the people out there, man. Whether they're just regular simps on the street, or people out there that are, starting to, come into the truth, we're telling people, hey, you got to wake up and smell the coffee, which basically means, you got to snap out of the delusion that you've been raised in, and you got to learn what they're trying to hide from you. Shit, they're hiding the entire world from us. Quite literally, the shape of the world, so no pun intended, but they're hiding the literal shape of the world from us in and of itself, right? Let alone all of the, the social statuses that they set up, right, to oppress us. So again, in every way, shape, and form, they're having control over us. And a whole nother thing I want to comment on, people out here, man, people are losing their cool, right? People out here are losing their minds. Like I saw a story recently that happened on that whole eclipse, of, what was it, the 8th of last month? What was it, April 8th, the eclipse that happened over the United States and Mexico. There was a whole story that came out where this one woman killed her whole family, over bugging out about the eclipse. Again, you can look it up. It's true. Look it up. And I was thinking to myself, I remember back in 2012, when a woman, she was so convinced that the world was going to end, she literally stole a school bus and kidnapped people and forced them to stay in it to save them from the disaster. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, shit, it wouldn't surprise me if something like that happened this year. And lo and behold, it did. At least one event did, right? So again, it shows you people out here are losing their mind. Like I saw the other day, man, these two dudes, the one guy lightly tapped the guy's car, and then the guy, sped after him 70 miles an hour, called him the N-word, all that, ready to, actually get into a physical altercation. So the guy confronted him, but the other dude that hit him, he sped away, so the guy chased him 70 miles an hour, to try to get into a fight, make him pay for, chipping the paint off. That I saw that the other day. And then another one, basically, somehow what happened was this guy got cut off at the light or at a turn or something. So the person that cut him off was going to an Arby's restaurant, right? So this guy deliberately went out of his way to come after this guy into the Arby's restaurant and literally get into a fist fight with him inside of the Arby's store that I was in front of, right? People had to step in and get these guys, to to handle themselves correctly. So again, shows that people out here, man, are losing their minds, right? Literally ready to put their life at risk over a damn, getting somebody stealing their parking spot or cutting them off at the light, People out here are unhinged, man. And it's clear to see. If you can't see it, you just don't know what's going on. And why are people like that? Well, first of all, everybody out here is all strained out on all these drugs. Like I went to damn Pizza Hut this one time, man, and the dude at the window that was serving the pizza, giving people his orders. Dude's in there dancing around, smoking weed, and acting like making an ass out of himself. They're behind the counter. Yeah, but you can't blame these people, man. They got, again, especially people in my generation, right? Generation Z. Again, we've been dealt the shit hand, so to speak, right? We've been dealt like the worst out of any generation that's been before us, right? We have nothing. We come from broken homes because they broke up the family of all these different political systems they have put in place. So we come from nothing. Many of us come from poverty, and we have no future. We know we'll never own anything. All we're going to do is continue to keep working till the day we die. We see it, so we see it. So, we're tired of your bullshit, America. We're tired of the bullshit that you're putting out there. We're sick and tired of it. You know what? I'm not going to work a 9 to 5 and let these mother lovers out here live off of my blood, sweat, and tears. I'm not going to, that's not going to fly with me. Oh, hell to the no. I ain't living like that. Hell to the no. Let me tell you something, man. There's coming a point very soon in the future when the people of my generation are going to attack their government. It's coming very soon. This is happening in our lifetime. We're witnessing the death of an empire is what we're seeing, everybody. We're seeing the fall of the United States. Again, it's not going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen overnight. This is an empire falls over the course of years. Rome didn't fall in one day, right? Rome fell over the course of many years after getting attacked by multiple different waves of barbarian groups, right? That's how Rome fell, right? It stretched itself so far that it lost control of some of its territories. And then as over some time, barbarians attacked and gained a victory over territory that Rome held. So over the course of time, Rome fell to the barbarians, right? But it did not happen all in one night. So same with America. America is on their way out. This country's falling. But it's not going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen just overnight. This is a gradual thing that happens over years. And this country's been in decline for a long time. But again, it happens day by day, year by year. It doesn't all just happen at one point in time. Now, there's certain events that happen that can make the fall approach even quicker, such as the January 6th riot, right? That was the first time that event ever happened. People are still talking about that to this very day, and they will be on the next January 6th talking about it, right? So again, the facts is that the time that we're in, this is definitely a weird time, right? Definitely a very strange time, right? Like, say, for instance, a whole nother thing I didn't get into is here it is. If you ever saw the American military recruitment ads that they have, like literally this one I saw, this girl on there saying she has 2 mothers and, she got inspiration to join the military because she can do it because she's a woman. It's like, well, why the hell are they putting in that she had 2 mothers? Like, why was that necessary to add in? Could it be because they're trying to bring transformer people and rainbow people into the military? Well, obviously that's the reason why. So again, you literally have people in the military that identify themselves as being like a she-male, right? Or something like in between, right? The other people in there don't even want to be called a man or a woman. Again, it's ridiculous. Shit, you don't see that going on in damn China or Russia, man. You don't see that happen. Shit, I don't even know if Russia has women in their military. I'd have to look that up. I don't even know if they got women in their military, but I do know that if they caught you, living that rainbow lifestyle in Russia, man, that's a death sentence right there in that country, right? They don't accept that, right? There's no exceptions over there. Got people out there. I've seen documentaries recently people fleeing the country so they can continue that lifestyle, because they face persecution for that lifestyle over in Russia, so they are trying to flee the country so they can, live that lifestyle freely, in the neighboring countries that might treat them better, that might be like members of NATO, right? So they have American ideology as part of their cultural customs. But I don't want to make this video too drawn out. I just wanted to touch on a couple different points of conversation here, dealing with the topic of the video. But I'm going to call that the video.